Who is in charge? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Who's at the wheel of the ship is drifting, but the captain's at a party. Pretoria answer the call, like it gone to sleep. Adam Godney stand tall in the harbor of Durban. The seal ships ride, the ANC plays a game of seek and hide. They call for the exercise in like the east wind, and point to Beijing and say they're the ones who sin. Joram was under this, I guess, at the gate. Now they say who invited them, it must have been fake. Confusion in the Union building, shadows on the wall. Now the truth gets buried in the marble hall. Who is running the land? Tell me, who's in command? Is it the suit in the office or the gun in there? Oh, that from the Congo to the Pretoria street, the drums of the rock start to skip a beat. No books for the boys, no armor for the chest, but millions for the dollar to go take a rest. And she speaks of an inquiry, a code to be won, but the days turn to weeks and the paper is torn. No answers coming down, there's the heavy silence, while the heroes in the bush face no rebel violence. Sent to the jungle with no wings in the sky, only 3 helicopters, how can they fly? No medevac coming when they let us to rain. Chased by the rebels, oh the pride and the pain. No uniform, no boot, no boots, oh wait, look at the budget for the big salute. P7, 2 million for retirement spree. Modern Navy is sinking beneath the sea. Not a submarine moving, not a sailor in sight, but the body lights are burning to the Pretoria night. The chief of defense, he's a law to himself. Yeah, commander of the Navy puts the stay on the self, defying the podium, ignoring the sir, while the ghost of the fly starts to wake and to stir. And what's this whisper? What's this dark news? The chairman charged with murder, and he's the one they choose. Promoted to the top, while the dockets go forward. Is this the new story that's being told? Who is running the land? Tell me, who's in command? Is it Siren? Is it Langy? Does Ronnie understand? Oh, from the Crown Hope to the Pretoria street, the drums of the ropes start to skip a beat. No boost for the boys, no armor for the chest, but millions for the tenor on the moat. The rest, the generals are dancing, the politicians are glancing, the money is vanishing, and the soldiers are wandering. Who's the boss? Siren. Who's the boss? And King. The military's gone rogue in the sun, but parade has only just begun. Up in the morning, the sun peeking through the smoke, but the system is a burden, and the system is a joke. I see the tax man coming with his ledger and his pen, trying to take the little bread from the hands of honest men. The ANC tell us in a voice so smooth and deep that nil is compensation for the secrets that they keep. Well, if nothing is of value, then I got a plan in store to give Pretoria exactly what they're asking for. Let's pay our taxes to the stars today, in a nil compensation style, I say. No cash, no credit, not a single rand, just the empty rhythm of a dry, dry land. Nil compensation for the taxman's greed, while the people cry out for the things they really need. They're taking all the coins just to fund the VIP, while the brothers and the sisters live in poverty. Free water, free lights, and a World Cup trip, while the captain is a feasting on a sinking sinking ship. They raid the pension fund to keep the blue light spinning fast. The privilege for the quotas while the workers come in last. They're living high off the hog, yeah, they're eating all the fruit, while the farms and the businesses are dying at the root. Neglect, graft, elite privilege. The poor go poorer in the shadow of the tall walls, but the taxman still comes knocking when the evening falls. Now the person says that the math is feeling fair, so I'm breathing out the taxes in the middle of the year. I'm paying with a flair, I'm paying with a smile. I haven't seen a rand in a long, long while. No more money for the size, no more silver, no more gold. Just the story of a nation that's been bought and been sold. Yeah, 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 we pay our taxes to the size today. In annual compensation style, I say, no cash, no credit, not a single rand. Just the empty rhythm of a dry, dry land. Nail compensation, yeah, that is the fee. From the mountains of the Cape to the Zoutpansberg tree. Not a red cent, not a red cent, not a single rand, not a single rand. Just nil, nothing. Not a Pretoria, we're square.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello folks, welcome back. It is Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. Hope you're all doing well. And once again, Firefox is not playing nice, so let's just go ahead and get this live over here so I can see what's going on with this broadcast. So I can't see. There we go. I am live. Just want to make sure. Very frustrating. Oh, now it wants to play nice. Yeah, it's just playing games. All right, welcome back. It's good to see you all again, and welcome to the program. Let's go ahead and get started here. Start at the top, very top of this whole situation here. Chris is in the background. Cinderella, Sven Stalabard, Marissa's here. Bossekop, Marlene, Gregorio, Mari. Can't do everybody, so welcome to all of you. Okay. Tommy Pig released statement. We have State Park land basing for. Yeah, it wasn't much of a statement. I saw it. Steenhuisen live, but just watch your stream. I can't tell you how many times I want to puke in his speech. Yeah, exactly. Yep. We're going to talk about that. No, I didn't know the Freedom Front Plus is voting with the ANC to oust mayors in Western Cape. That's news to me. Where's that coming from? Okay. Yep. All right. So, what have I missed here? Be respectful. Okay, cool. We were fed up with Steenhuisen, says somebody. Marius. Yep, I can understand that. Program announcement after this, folks. You can join us over on Wednesdays with a Colonel. Yeah, the news says they are, but how do they know that? How do they know that? Nobody's going to go at the moment. I'm going to read that story. I'm going to read it verbatim. I found that story. Thank you, Mad Max, for this super chat. So, why is it doing this? This is crazy. So it's they say that, but they have no evidence of that. First off, nobody's in AGOA. The presumption, I guess, on their part is that whoever was in it's still in it. Well, the problem is you all have to be approved and certified. So if the United States allows South Africa to be in AGOA after all that it's done, then this is all a joke. Joe Texas watched Belofteland and it left a sour taste in his mouth. I hope it wasn't the interview with me. I hope it wasn't the interview with me that left a sour taste in your mouth. That would be a bummer for me, to say the very least. Yeah, so another disturbing trend here, folks, is that we have not had a 10, 15,000 viewers per hour in days now on the channel. We had a better day yesterday, but we had a lot of stuff going on. But we haven't had, when you have several hours a day with 10, 15,000 views or more, then you're having a good day. But I was only getting 4,000 or 5,000 for top views, even though I had some really good videos out there. A little disappointing. He had to resign. He's a blob on the DA. A blot, I think you mean, because of him they're losing voters. Yeah, I know, Joe. I know. I was just trying to be humble there. All right, so let's get to this news that we got to go with here. Mostly South African news today, so for my international viewers, a little bit of apology. But we'll start off with the excitement in South Africa from the uninformed who don't understand what's going on. Now, South Africa may go forward, but there's no evidence of this, so let's see. Jameson Greer says Trump signs 1 year ago extension. It's not even 1 year. We're already in February, so it's 11 months. U.S. President Donald Trump signed a law extending preferential trade program for Africa through December 31st, effective retroactively back to September. His office is going to work to improve it, but they want to improve things for the U.S. He said that the U.S. benefits from this program, but we don't. We do not. We get nothing from this. So should the U.S. extend AGOA for a longer term instead of 1 year extension? Now, before we look at this poll, and of course this is Times Live, I could do a poll. Let me do the same poll. Let me do the same poll and see. Let's see. Well, actually, people here are going to say no because they're angry with the South African government. But let's see how many people respond to this. Start a poll. AGOA is not a word. It's an acronym. I hate when they do that. AGOA. All right, so there you go. So I put a poll up. You got a chance to answer a poll. Should they extend it? But I'm going to go ahead and check and see what... I haven't voted in this poll, so I want to show it with you as I did it. Okay. Yes, AGOA should be extended for a longer period. No, 1 year extension is enough. Not sure. Need more information. AGOA's benefits. Well, that doesn't say not to extend it. That's a stupid... Their polls are so stupid on Times Live. They don't give you a chance. No, 1 year is enough. Let's see. Maybe 50 people. 52 people voted in this. I'll bet we can beat that in a matter of minutes. This was published this morning, so about 5:30, so 7 hours ago. 7 hours? Yeah. No, 6 hours ago. 5.5 hours ago. 5.5 hours ago, 52 people voted in their poll. Nobody is reading the Times Live. They must have atrocious views. I mean, even with my slow number of viewers turning up, I'm still rocking their boat, destroying it. Let's see. I'm already look. 52 people voted in that poll in the Times Live in hours. We have 116 votes in 1 minute. This is a trend I'm going to keep track of. When we have an audience, I'm going to keep looking to see if we outdo the Times Live poll. That is just sad. It's a major media outlet, and they're just getting pummeled. Maybe they should hire real editors and real journalists. Turn around their sad operation. Hang on a second here. I got to fix this. There we go. I had to play with that yesterday to make it work for the stream, or last night. South Africa is still in AGOA, according to Jan Cronje. Donald Trump has signed a bill reauthorizing AGOA. South Africa is still eligible. Okay. South Africa is still in the program. Is different than saying South Africa is still eligible. Well, fractionally, it's not eligible. Yep. Look to see where they say South Africa is in it. The extension of AGOA at the end of December 26th is a welcome development, says Wandile Silobo, agriculture economist at AgBiz. From a South African perspective, what must now be a focus in transitioning from AGOA to a trade agreement with the U.S., this would be an ideal path for South Africa and U.S. for long-term stability. Here we go. Here's the truth. It remains to be seen whether South Africa will remain in the pact going forward after some of these politicians question keeping South Africa deal. Okay, so look at this. This story tells three stories. The title is South Africa is still in AGOA. Okay, so that is an emphatic statement that South Africa is still in the program. Then down here, they admit the truth. They're still eligible for the program. Then down here, they say it remains unclear whether South Africa will remain in the program. This isn't news. It's propaganda. Which is it? Either they're in the program, or they're eligible to be in the program, or they're in danger of not being in the program. Which is it? The story headline should be AGOA renewed, South Africa status unclear. That is the correct headline for the story. AGOA renewed, South Africa status unclear. That is a headline. Who are the editors at this useless publication, News 24? That's just total crap. Total crap. Let's see how many people voted now. 174 votes. Yep. So we now have nearly 4 times as many votes as the Times Live in just how long we do this? We did this in 3 minutes. They've done it in six hours. Yeah. No, they're not eligible. So it doesn't take a genius. Do you not have... Oh, anyway, I'm not going to get to it. That's enough. Let's talk about John Steenhuisen. John Boy. John Boy has agreed that he is going to not seek re-election for the Democratic Alliance, a party he's destroyed. But then he spent the next 25 minutes telling us about how it's so important for him to focus on his job as a Minister of Agriculture that he's not going to run, that he needs to step aside. But foot and mouth is eviscerating South Africa's agricultural sector right now. And 2.5 more months is 2.5 more months of lost time when he's going to be focusing on being the leader of the DA or at least collecting a paycheck from the DA, which isn't. Then he talked about how he saved South Africa from a doomsday coalition of ANC, MK, EFF, which was never going to happen. I've analyzed this to death. I've told people about this since long before the election. I'm the first analyst to actually publish things on this, predicting the coalitions. I noticed the media, after I started putting my slides up, started running stories and stealing my titles, slightly altering them. So the DA was never talking about a doomsday coalition publicly until after I already talked about it. So the Doomsday Coalition, I said, was highly unlikely because MK will never work with the ANC in a national government because as long as Jacob Zuma is around, he has a vendetta against the leadership of ANC and he would destroy that party in part of a coalition. So that's not going to happen. Plus, it would be a serious mea culpa for the ANC itself to admit that it has to go into a coalition with bum-hurt former ANC members. So not going to happen. Public relations disaster. And then EFF, Cyril Ramaphosa has a personal hatred and distaste for Julius Malema, and as long as he leads that party, they're not going to do anything with the EFF at the national level. So John Steenhuisen, his argument about he prevented the Doomsday Coalition is poppycock. There was no Doomsday Coalition. He's got foot and mouth disease. Then he gave himself a victory lap, and he talked with his cheeky, I'm lying, but I'm going to smile anyway. Look, about mission accomplished. What mission is accomplished? The Democratic Alliance received 100,000 fewer votes under John Steenhuisen, despite a few more million people being available to vote, more eligible people. They received 100,000 less votes than Mmusi Maimane got in a pathetic election in 2019, which is 500,000 votes less than Helen Zille got 12 years ago. In 2014, she got 4,004,000 votes at the zenith of the DA. In the meantime, under his leadership, the DA has lost townships, has lost mayoral positions, it's lost control of municipalities in the Western Cape. It has become a non-factor in KwaZulu-Natal, the strong base of Johnny Steenhuisen himself and his buddy Dean McPherson, who was there. Dean McPherson's a little lapdog lacking. You notice he didn't mention Dean McPherson, did he? You notice that last night? When he talked about the youth who he's uplifted and who he's mentored and brought through the program, he talked about Cilliers Brink, he talked about Chris Pappas, he talked about Jordan Hill-Lewis. The first two, he's never done anything to help their career. In fact, he's hampered it by not promoting their success. Instead of promoting Chris Pappas, he's running around, or Cilliers Brink, he's running around destroying the lives of Emma Powell, Andrew Whitfield, Ronaldo Ghoz, and a host of other promising DA politicians who are now either on the sidelines or no longer in the party. This is a man who has poor judgment, who can't pay his credit card bills, who ignores national crises as if it was just going to go away. Anyway, so his political chapter ends where it begins is what the headline is in the Times Live today. Steenhuisen's supporters and critics have reacted to his decision not to seek re-election. He should have resigned. He should have done the honorable thing and resigned. DA leader John Steenhuisen announced his withdrawal from the party's leadership race during a media briefing at the Riverside Hotel. In a move that stunned his supporters and detractors alike, no, we weren't stunned. This is long overdue. DA federal leader John Steenhuisen announced that he will not contest the party's upcoming leadership. What stunned us is he didn't resign. He made the announcement in Durban's North Ward 39, carrying a heavy dose of symbolism. It's a very ward where his political odyssey began decades ago, because he's never held a real job, except briefly as a real estate agent. As a young member of the Durban North Ratepayers Association, before rising to become a councillor in eThekwini municipality. The venue was thick with anticipation long before his arrival. Whispers filled the room. Some said Sina has been forced out of the party by the weight of recent controversies, while others insisted they would stand behind him come what may. Yeah, well, there's a lot of dumb people around. When he finally walked in, flanked by Michael Beaumont's wife, Terry, his wife, Terry, and a handful of aides, the tension broke into warm applause. Yet even amid the cheers, Steenhuisen cannot hide the toll of the past days. He looked nervous, paler than usual. His smile betrayed his strained leader under siege. All the key figures in DA and the KwaZulu-Natal room filled the room, lending the occasion air of a final farewell. Members of the Ratepayers Association were also present. He described his era at the helm of the DA as mission accomplished. He reflected the improbable journey that had taken the DA from perpetual opposition into the corridors of national government. What do you mean in government? Does the DA decide anything in government? Do they direct foreign policy? Do they do anything about the military? Do they have any control of the police? Do they control the finance? They control foreign policy? They control intelligence? Do they have the deputy president? They have the second largest party in South Africa, and they don't have a senior leadership position in the government. They don't have the Speaker of the Parliament. They don't have a deputy president. They're nothing. They're nothing. They're delusional is what they are. My goodness. He reminded his audience of the DA's moonshot strategy, which culminated a party entering the government. Okay, see, that's nonsense. The DA's moonshot, let's rewrite history here at Times Live. The Moonshot Pact was an effort to create a grand coalition to get the ANC out of power, not to join the ANC in government. Can you believe this? Can you believe that? I was there. I know what it's about. I covered it as a journalist. And unlike the lazy journalists that were upset because they had to stay past 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was there to cover events. The DA and John Steenhuisen stole the moonshot term from the U.S. government, from NASA, and John Kennedy. But the point here is that the Moonshot Pact was a grand coalition meant to unseat the ANC. It didn't unseat the ANC. ANC lost the majority because its voters stayed home or they voted for MK in KwaZulu-Natal. That's why they lost 2 million votes. Not because the DA lost votes. They lost votes. So the Moonshot strategy did not culminate in them entering the government. The Moonshot strategy failed. It was an epic failure. And it was never going to be anything but a failure. Wow. Not long ago, it was unthinkable that the leader of the DA would ever walk up the steps of the union buildings. Why not? I walk up the steps of union buildings all the time when I go to South Africa. You can't visit the building? But once we got the DA back on track after my election as federal leader in 2019, I remind you, in 2019, Musi Maimani's DA got 3.6 million votes in the national election. John Steenhuisen's DA, with 2 or 3, 4 million more people eligible to vote in 2024, got 3.5 million, 100,000 less votes. How did you get it back on track there, John? We set out to achieve exactly this in 2024 general election to enter the government for the first time. No, that was not your goal. Your stated goal was to unseat the ANC. Unseat the ANC. You didn't unseat the ANC. You joined the ANC. You became its biatch. In the long story of the DA and his predecessors dating back to at least 1959, there's only one leadership area that will ever be remembered for marshaling our party across the Rubicon into national government. Only one, and it is this one. Wow. 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 Now listen to this. Did he say Leon Schreiber in that? Or Sivewe Garuba? I don't remember. He probably nurtured the new talent, the exciting leaders such as Sivewe Garuba, Leon Schreiber, Dean McPherson, and Jordan Hill-Lewis. Okay, I was chatting a little bit. Maybe I missed it. I don't recall him mentioning Dean McPherson, Leon Schreiber, or Sivewe Garuba when he's talking about mentoring leaders. He actually said Celia Spring and Chris Pappas. Are they just making this stuff up because that's who they want to see? Johan Vandenberg, a 75-year-old stalwart of the Durban North Ratepayers, recalled his long association with Steenhuisen. I've known John for more than 35 years. I was serving as a deputy chairperson when he came along. He was so active in later years, he became chairperson. I was his deputy. One day, he came to me and told me that he wanted to be a counselor. I signed off his nomination document, and my wife, Michelle, seconded me. Ever since then, we've been following his political career, the highs and lows. He called a few days ago and told me he's not running. I told him that's very sad, and I believe there's still much more he could achieve. Well, he could achieve something, Mr. Vandenberg. He's accomplished nothing. Not a damn thing. Wow. This is shocking, to say the least. The victory lap taken by people who commit no victory. What's this? Yeah, I received lesser portfolios. Writing was on the wall. That's right, Lynn. That's what I said. Talk about living la la land. What earth is he on? Exactly. Never had the smallest amount of hope for the DA or the GNU. No disappointments has failed democracy. We are in a taxi with a spanner for a steering wheel, but the steering column is disconnected, giving the illusion of control. That's pretty good. High hopes for you, but GNU, the ANC played it well. Yep. He's been losing DA voters hand over fist. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise. He left our Ward 36 to rise to his current position to be exposed as ineffectual. This is Karen. All right. So I'm caught up with the chat. Yeah, look, I mean, this guy's living in a fairy tale land. But I mean, look, he's leaving. He wants to put a good spin on it. I get it. But dude, at least live in reality here. You can say that we, as a party, we in South Africa survived COVID. We survived tensions with the United States, although things are difficult now. The party is in the same position it was when I took over, and hopefully it can go forward in my absence. That would have been the truth. Except that's not true. The party has declined since then. Steenhuisen next divides the DA, praise from allies, fury from critics as leadership battle looms. He led the DA into shame, shambles, and mockery and must be held to account for bringing the party to disrepute. Wow. While some hailed outgoing Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen's decision to step down, this was the prevailing view among critics, both those still within the party and those who have since left. Several insiders, citing a gag order imposed by the party, said they were barred from publicly discussing the internal matters. That includes Dion George. Wow. Former DA and Natal leader Sizwe Mkunu labels Steenhuisen's exit a walk of shame. John has been the party's golden boy, but his leadership has far exceeded his competence. He chose to surround himself with close allies and friends. That has backfired. He has lost support across several provinces, including his own, where he's forced the appointment of Hanif Hussein as preferred mayoral candidate despite resistance from senior leaders. Steenhuisen has defended his tenure, stating that he can now focus on managing the foot and mouth disease outbreak, which continues to impact the agricultural sector. His approach drew criticism, including the threat of legal action from private agricultural organizations demanding the right to vaccinate cattle independently. Despite this, his allies have praised his leadership, particularly his efforts to consolidate opposition parties ahead of the 2024 election. But what came of it? His leadership style, temperament, and emotional intelligence made him a poor choice to lead the country's national opposition. That much has been apparent to almost everyone except his own party. For that misjudgment, the DA itself must carry responsibility, particularly as it heads into what will be a bruising 10 months before the next election. That's former DA, KZN campaign director Mbale Ntuli. Said his tenure was marked by drama, scandal, alleged internal financial impropriety, and now arguably the final blow, the mishandling of the foot and mouth outbreak. Yep, I see that black members of the DA aren't too happy with John Steenhuisen. Yes, his arrogance, his ineptitude, his incompetence, and his patronage. John Steenhuisen should just go join the ANC. He is a patronage puppy. He appoints his friends, and he's a bitter, vile, repulsive human being who is vindictive and targets his enemies with threats. He should simply leave the Democratic Alliance and join the African National Congress. A much better fit for him. Charles says John did nothing but talking and shamble from one buffet to another. He should have been a minister in the cabinet from the beginning and not the leader of the party. I said so 18 months ago, but he's too arrogant and too greedy. And even with the 2.6 million rand or whatever it is he made, he still couldn't pay his bills. He still has no assets as a 49-year-old man. Yes. It bears saying again, but thank you for being objective with good analysis here. Lazy analysis of who would succeed. You know, it's just calling left-wing social really lazy, untrue analysis from you to others. Who gave that? Chris Myberg. Thank you. I do agree that Jordan Hill Lewis, like his party, is a leftist, a left of center. He is left of center. I do agree. Thank you for the super chat. But that's my position. But also, I don't think he's the right fit for the leadership of the DA. But I'm not criticizing. I have nothing negative to say about him. I've met the gentleman. But he clearly is left of center. That's a statement of fact. He hosted Sadiq Khan in Cape Town. I mean, who in their right mind would host that clown? But yeah, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, no, I'm not anti-Jordan Hill-Lewis. In fact, I'm a person that for the past few months is suggesting that he's probably a front runner for the position because the DA is a left-of-center political party. That's who they are. They admit it. Well, they don't carry that flag proudly, but boy, on Gay Pride Day, they're all over the place. They have more gay pride flags than they have South African flags or even DA flags. They're definitely, well, rebound result, as a 49-year-old man, you have no assets, but have you made 2.6 million Rand per year or 2 million Rand per year for the past 20 years? If you haven't at 49 you have assets, then maybe something happened in your life. But this man has not had any challenges in life. He's lived the fat cat easy life for 2 decades as a politician, getting a city councilor's salary, getting money from the DA, then becoming a member of parliament, getting money there, then becoming a minister and getting money from the DA and getting his ministerial salary. Jacobus Olaf, thank you. And he has no resources. Look, I think the criticism of John Steenhuisen for his inability to pay his bills is a fair one. John Steenhuisen didn't lose his job because he's white. John Steenhuisen didn't turn to 150 employers with a CV and said, you're the best candidate, but we can't hire you because then we won't be EE qualified. John Steenhuisen didn't live on a farm and have his farm burned down or his family murdered in front of him because he's a farmer. John Steenhuisen lived the easy life of getting money from taxpayers for doing nothing for the country. So I think it's a fair criticism to raise the point that at the age of 49, not only does he have no assets, who has no assets that has that kind of income? Irresponsible, financially irresponsible people. That's who. That's the point. And this is the leader of a major political party that we're expected to trust with state resources, with making decisions to determine where money goes, like, vaccines. The man can't balance his credit card. He can't pay his credit card off. Credit cards let you pay off over time. So how do you get 149,000 Rand debt accrued? How is that possible? Make the minimum payment. Did he even make the minimum payment? I don't know. Now I pay my credit cards off in full every month because I use them essentially as charge cards and get the miles and the cash back and all that stuff, the benefits of it. Thank you, Westhouse, for the super chat. Many new Americans don't have any assets anymore. That's true. That's true. Well, they're not new Americans. You're talking about refugees. Thank you, Jacobus, for upgrading your membership. Was there a super chat here from Mad Max that I missed? I want to go back real quickly here. I don't see anything. I'll check it again later on, but I don't see anything there. All right, yeah, no, I think it's fair to question. Chris Byberg, thank you for the super chat, but I think, and not that you're disagreeing with me, but I'm just pointing that out, that because you were asked about Jordan Hill-Lewis, you feel sorry for him. He's now their puppet. He's always been their puppet. Talent pool today is really shallow. Can't even get 2 realistic contenders in the ring. Steenhuisen is good for goal, says Heinrich. Nothing but take. Okay, that's where I was at. There's the one from Chris Myberg. Thank you. I believe Rob Hersoff met with Epstein in New York. No, he didn't meet with Epstein. That's a very misleading statement. Thank you, Ali Chiavelli, for the 140 Rand. No, he did not meet with Epstein. In the papers, it says that at a party that he attended, Epstein was there and he gave him his business card. That's what he did. That's very different than meeting with Epstein. Meeting with Epstein is scheduling a meeting. I've met with Theo Diager in Linwood Bridge. We sat down, had a coffee, and talked about events. That's a meeting. We met. That was intentional. That wasn't a happenstance passing by. He didn't, Joe. He didn't meet with him in New York. He saw him there. Very different. When he had to choose between the DA leader and ministry, he chose ministry. Yep. John has balls. The squirrel keeps him on the chart shelf. Aurora says, I do not think he's vile or vindictive. I think he got caught by the money. Well, Aurora, you don't have the information that I have. You don't know what John Steenhuisen has done that I know, that I have not revealed publicly. So I will stick by my position. He's vile and vindictive. All right? But that's because you don't know publicly, and I've never revealed it. So I will say with 100% certainty that he's vile and vindictive, and I'll stick to that position. And perhaps one day I'll reveal that, but certainly not now. So it's not just embellishment or hyperbole or piling on by me. Not at all. Not at all. I have no desire to call anybody vile and vindictive unless they misbehave. Yeah. So I will keep that for now. They're excellent taking a problem and turning it into worse problems. Yep. Yeah, he hopes to salvage his reputation and legacy by fixing, but he's already destroyed Southern's agriculture sector. 14 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that, Francois Ferrer. I hope for the DA has more gay pride voters than conservatives. Mark Myberg. By stepping into a world where you are controlled and too dumb to ask questions. Oh, gotcha. Kathy, don't know much about history, don't know much about politics. There's a group of no comments. That's where I'll be. Thank you, @ for the 140 Rand. Thank you for that. Boy, you changed your username to something we can't even recognize. Barely any news about the ANC in the past 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Lutuli House is loving it. They're busy stealing the China and the silverware out the back door while everybody's focused on the DA. Yep. I used to work for the DA. The politics sucked, giant dunk, so I left. Okay. Just watched his speech on your live. He stepped out now so the new generation can take the fall for his failures. I saw my new icon 6 months now. Woo, pay congratulations. Thank you for 14 Rand. You get you got the castle. Eventually you'll get the galaxy, the Milky Way. You get to that much debt if you want to live the high life above your budget. Yep. Okay, I have a chapter about John the DA in your memoirs. Good day, David Wilson. Welcome to you. Steenhuisen has become the leader of the ANC Light. Ministry pays more than party leader. Hopefully Starmer is done after he knew Peter Mandelson is friends with Epstein. Yeah, no, he knew about that and he didn't push him out. That's a good point there. Yolanda, what's up? Never again. Did you see Steenhuisen's? Yeah, we saw Steenhuisen. All right, so let me take a look at the poll before we continue with the news. And the Times Live had 52 votes after 6 hours. We have 322 votes after 24 minutes. I love it. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. We're just crushing Times Live. Anton said, don't feel sorry for him. He caused unnecessary harm and sorrow to many people. Yep. And he lied in the White House. Exactly right. But have you met my white Minister of Agriculture? Have you? All right, more on John Steenhuisen before we move on. Undone by 3 things, but forever the first DA minister. Oh, my goodness. Very few political leaders can end their careers on their terms. Most of them go up in flames amid party acrimony and betrayal, electoral collapse, or scandal. John Steenhuisen on Wednesday announced that he would not be available to lead the DA after its next federal Congress. While Helen Zille left on her terms. It's mission accomplished. No, it wasn't. Helen Zille preceded my mind and left her own terms, but did so prematurely and eventually returned to undo her succession planning. Tony Leon probably had the smoothest of all accents. By the time Zillow took over from him in 2007, he led the DA from and his predecessor from party of 1% to 12% party and was leader of the opposition. You know, it's funny because Steenhuisen essentially, he didn't claim it, but essentially the way he said things, he was basically taking credit for taking this from a 1% party to a 22% party. But it wasn't him. It was Tony Leon that forged this party and moved it forward before Helen took it to its zenith. And of course, he's taken it back. So, yeah, 3 things that did him in. Well, Peter DeToy doesn't really spell these out. It would have been nice had he done it. Steenhuisen, agile and efficient chief whip in the National Assembly, was elected the following year and helped the DA recover lost electoral ground in 2024, admittedly amid lower voter turnout, and sought to bring clarity of thought to the party's ideological positioning. So, Peter, you're not even being honest. Steenhuisen did not revive the DA's fortunes in 2024. In fact, Steenhuisen led the DA to a lower vote result. Yep. If the DA was more popular and if he'd achieved something, they would have gained a higher percentage and more votes, but they didn't. Yeah, there was nobody from the senior leadership there. He is dead in the DA. He might as well just leave and join the ANC today because he's dead. Of course, like Van Schalkwyk, another Ferreira, he will simply leave the scene. He will leave the scene and no one will remember him. But he will forever be remembered as the man who destroyed the Democratic Alliance. That's who he'll be remembered as. Credit-taking, Steenhuisen overestimates his wins. Mohammed Hussein. I love how Indians and coloreds and blacks are happy to criticize Steenhuisen, but the clapping seal white DA members still love him. On Wednesday, John Steenhuisen announced that he would not seek re-election. Ending months of speculation, rumors, and posturing. In his hometown, he said, I today announced that I will not seek re-election for 3rd term for the upcoming federal Congress. A 20-minute speech with a lot of thank yous and victory, framing leadership path and how he had led the DA over the past 6 years. In his credit-claiming mission accomplished speech, Steenhuisen highlighted how proud he was of the talent I've actively nurtured in the DA, how he led the party from the clutches of death to within striking distance to become the biggest political party in South Africa, and how his leadership of the DA and cabinet led to a better life for all South Africans. What the hell is this guy on? A better life for all South Africans? He led the DA from the clutches of death? Musi Maimane got over 20% by pretending to be the ANC. Clutches of death. What clutches of death do you lead the party from? Yes, when Helen Zille finally leaves the Democratic Alliance, she will have a massive send-off. And if I can be there, I'll happily be there. Maybe I'll get my interview that she promised 5 years ago. News 24 spoke to political analyst Susan Boyson for her take on the significant political leadership change. Boyson was intrigued by Steenhuisen's interpretation of his leadership of the DA and what he claimed he led the party to. As am I, Ms. Boyson. His agency in that certainly way overstated in terms of leading the DA into government. In getting the DA into the coalition to negotiate, Steenhuisen had a minimal role there. That's true too. I haven't even focused on that. It was Helen Zille and Tony Leon who in those negotiations really drove it forward, but they failed. He just inherited it. He was elevated into the GNU by virtue of being leader of the party. It was not his initiative that got the DA there. She added that even the position in which the DA had found itself in 2024 elections was not because of what the party achieved, but rather the result of the ANC having declined. Exactly! They lost votes too. Boyson also pointed out Steenhuisen certainly didn't talk about policy achievements. Nope, not a single one. During his tenure, there hasn't been much substantive policy implementation. It's also surprising there was no mention of Zille, who's long been a defender of Steenhuisen in public and even defended him internally before. Yeah, so Steenhuisen, on his way out, stabs Helen in the back. Yep. Boyson said if he had not had Zille's support, he would not have remained where he was as leader for that long. Yep. The fact he did not thank Zille was probably one of the indications there is also an ultimatum from her side. Yep. Boyson said that his mishandling of the foot and mouth disease outbreak had not earned him any favors. She said Steenhuisen would focus. He said he would focus all his energy. He said he would focus all his energy and time as Minister of Agriculture on defeating the most devastating foot and mouth disease outbreak our country's ever seen. And Boyson said, I had a sense of exasperation listening to that. The crisis that he has overseen and brought on through his inaction is in line with Angie Motshekga in her time as Basic Education Minister and now as Defense Minister. He should not have the audacity to claim that he will now give his attention to it. She said she couldn't see how he could have retained his ministerial position by the next DA leader based on merit. Exactly. Wow. Thank you for the 70 Rand. Lamborghini. Thank you so much. Wow. Regarding his political career going forward, Boyson said Steenhuisen had a lot of support within the DA and that it should help him through for a while. He will probably be able to count on being defended at least for another year or two, but beyond that, it will depend entirely on whether he can actually make a difference in his foot and mouth disease and grow his corner of the DA. No, I think he's done. He's already destroyed South Africa. There's no coming back from this foot and mouth disease, unfortunately. We had Teo Diaga on yesterday, and we talked about that. So where is Susan Boyson at? It'd be nice if they tell us where this political analyst comes from. I would love to talk to her. Oh, Professor Susan Boyson. I would love to talk to her. This is brilliant. Her analysis is spot on. Anybody know her? Anybody have contact for me? Let me know. Send me an email. Let's see. Oh, she's got her own webpage. She's written for the Mail and Guardian, apparently, or she's appeared on there. I would love to interview her. Huh. Well, she's got one article in there. All right, well, I'll try to get in touch with her. Thank you for the super chat there, Francois Ferreira. He can resign, become a private dancer for money. You're too funny, man. Too funny. And we got 357 votes. I'm going to end the poll there, okay? What did Heinrich say? Chris Myberg can send me an email with her contact. Please do, Chris. Yeah, put my email up for Chris Myberg, please. Thank you. Someone do that very quickly. Hey, Ingrid, what's up? Uber Eats is devastated. Might have to file for bankruptcy in South Africa. Excuse me. Just in. Yes. Yes. Uber Eats South Africa is being delisted from the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Their revenue dropped 75% precipitously on the announcement John Steenhuisen will no longer be the leader of the Democratic Alliance. Headquarters in Sandton at Uber Eats South Africa is currently scrambling. We have reports now that Uber Eats drivers are rifling through the office looking for resources as Uber Eats South Africa goes bankrupt at this hour. Oh, my goodness. Okay, please send me that. Thanks. Jacobus says, thank you for your dedication, integrity, reporting the news, and especially your support of South Africa. I can't always watch, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, he was watching and supporting the program. That's fantastic. We appreciate that. So 83% of people said that they shouldn't extend AGOA. It should not be extended. Yep. So, yep. I think that South Africa is ineligible for AGOA, so I have no problem with AGOA being extended, but the AGOA is completely disconnected from what President Trump is trying to accomplish, so I find it puzzling that he would support it. I'm not against it. I thought it was a brilliant thing, but most African countries don't take full advantage of it, so it really hasn't made a difference in many places. Now, what did Heinrich say? I want to see what Heinrich said. I don't see, oh, there's Heinrich. Steenhuisen from Bash, USA. No, thank you. No, thank you. Shuffle off the Buffalo. No, thanks. Oh, boy. Okay. Still want to know if Steenhuisen's attention span is so low he can't focus on his job. What will Steenhuisen do for Uber Eats? They can't deliver to households. There's no 30% black owned. Chinese Communist Party is invading tomorrow. They sense an open door now. So no longer holding South Africa up. Yeah, okay. The Chinese Party is already there. Susan Boyson well stated in this article. From Minister of Uber Eats, oh, this is a pretty mean headline, to Dear Huizen. Here are John's top 5 memorable meme moments. The agriculture minister might be stepping down as DA boss, but his viral moments will live on. Oh, my goodness. Since his ascension to DA, Steenhuisen's qualification has been a hot topic, though he was a top-performing MP, according to Sunday Times. He only attained a matric. John Steenhuisen will never find peace in Parliament. Dr. Mbuzi Delozi will show him flames. Okay. John Vulligate. After the success of the John Vulligate song made popular by Mpara Jazz during the 2020 election run in the Steve Tshwete municipality, Steenhuisen had many on social media rolling on the floor with his dance moves to the viral song. He should have sang Mbuzi Benzi Mwenzo. Oh, come on. I wouldn't play it there.
A Nazi story. Well, let me tell you, on the 1st of November, I'm going to be John Vulimanzi, John Vulipompo, John Vulikaya, John William Sabenzi. And together, we're going to vula in Steve Tshwete municipality. We're going to vula that gate and put Bosman in there. We're going to vula the gate and put a DA government in there. And we're going to vula the gate for all of you to have a better future. Because the DA gets things done. Not bullying. A Nazi story. Well, let me tell you, on the 1st of...
I forgot about that. Former DA Honcho is now new to busting viral move or two at various gatherings. Rory Betzer says, all I want John Steenhuisen to announce tomorrow is that he will never dance again. Oh, and then, of course, this brilliant one. This is in Vietnam. This is the one that I had so much fun with. Okay, it does want to play. Oh, this is that. Say it doesn't even take me to it. I hate that. TikTok does not take me to it, so I can't get to it. Then this one here. What's John saying here? This is funny.
Tupula Inyanga! Tupula Inyanga! And let me tell you, Tupula Inyanga. That's exactly what we're going to do in this election. Tupula Inyanga. Because we've got the size, we've got the people, we've got the experience, we've got the track record, and we have the plan to rescue this beautiful country before.
The plan. Wow. What have you rescued? Nothing. Even Uber Eats is in trouble. Minister of Uber Eats, among the most controversies, spending habits landed him in the hottest water, famous for calling on citizens to end the fat cat feeding frenzy. Many called out the contradictions. We racked up 150,000 Uber Eats debt. The DA delivers. Get an Uber Eats discount when using code WEF Stooge. I didn't see this one from March of last year. I missed that one. My greatest of all time has had enough Uber Eats. After the announcement he would be the Minister of Agriculture, there was plenty of celebration and some mocking. John's first day as cabinet minister. While photos that littered the internet also alluded to laughter about other ministers in position, John's Steenhuisen nickname has continued to stick to this day. They call him John Steenhuisen. You know, I'm something of a farmer myself. Oh, dear God. You all know this, how they're going through worse things. You're here complaining about John. You should be asking the next leaders. We've already covered that, Aurora. We've covered that extensively long before he resigned. And we'll cover it again. The moment this is the news item, his decision to stay as leader of the Democratic Alliance for the next 2+ nearly 3 months. That's what's going on here. The man is so full of himself. It's unbelievable. Well, Jordan Hill Lewis is seriously considering becoming the leader of the DA, speaking of Aurora's desire to talk about who comes next. But what you fail to understand, Aurora, is the DA is a nothing party that has no influence and will implode in the next election. And therefore, it really doesn't matter who their leader is because they're going to take over Poison Chalice for a party in retreat. He wants to stay on as mayor. Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill Lewis is seriously considering running for the leadership of the Democratic Alliance. He shared his intentions during a caucus meeting. He stated he would remain Cape Town Mayor if he contested. His announcement follows John Steenhuisen's decision not to seek re-election. According to several sources, he addressed councillors during a caucus meeting on Wednesday where he indicated that while he's strongly considering contesting, he would remain Mayor of Cape Town. Interesting. We've already seen John Steenhuisen have the inability to be the leader of the party and a cabinet minister. Do you really think he can run the most interesting city in South Africa and be the leader of the party? I don't think so. Jordan Hill Lewis seriously considering DA leadership as Steenhuisen withdraws his bid. Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill Lewis has told his caucus that he is seriously considering running for leader of the DA. In a WhatsApp message seen by Sunday Times, he said, though he is thinking about running for top position, he would still want to remain mayor of Cape Town. I think that may be an oblique message by Jordan Hill Lewis that he really doesn't want to be the leader of the Democratic Alliance because he wants to remain the mayor of Cape Town. So I think that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart because you can't do both. I think that's smart. Let's be realistic. They're the second biggest party in South Africa. They are, Aurora, today, not in 2029. Departments working together to have foot and mouth declare disaster, says Steenhuisen. Oh, so 18 months later, 16 months later, we're going to declare disaster. Agriculture Bishop John Steenhuisen confirmed collaboration with the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs to declare foot and mouth disease an outbreak, a disaster. While the declaration will not provide extra funds, it will enable structures like NAT joints to assist enforcement. Give me a break here. Athol Trollope said Steenhuisen previously said he would ask for declaration of national disaster, referring to Steenhuisen's media briefing a month ago. A month went by. Wow. Steenhuisen said the Department of Agriculture has been working with the Department of Cooperative Governance and the National Natural Disaster Management Center, and then it'll go to the Cabinet for disaster declaration. He added it would not mean more funds to deal with the outbreak. We're confident that we have the funds we need to fund the vaccine rollout. Well, I'm not confident. Well, I never got past the South Africa. We got to go live to Ronaldo here shortly, and look at this. Foot and mouth disease is what's hobbling Steenhuisen. That's the story. We don't know inside the DA. Lots of rumors. Who knows the truth? But a lot of people said he's simply too close to the ANC. The U.S. sent a small military group to Nigeria after the attack on Christmas Day. Prince Andrew, former prince, moves out of the royal residence. Buckingham Palace announced back in October that he would vacate the Royal Lodge, though he was photographed there on horseback just this past week. Now they finally stripped him out of the place. Stripped his royal titles over his ties to Epstein. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the youngest brother of King Charles III, has quietly departed Royal Lodge. His longtime residence more than 3 months after they said he would leave. That's what happens when you get caught on film. Just on Monday, he was photographed riding a horse near the Royal Lodge, and they finally kicked him out. Tom Homan announces the drawdown of 700 federal agents in Minnesota. Smarter enforcement, not less, he says. All right, well, we'll see if the Trump administration backing down has an impact on what's happening. Will we get the criminal alien invaders out of Minneapolis? We'll see. Whoops. There it is. The Greenland deal reveals a gap. America's high-tech arsenal fails in Arctic freeze. Yep. The U.S. could learn a lot from its Nordic allies by projecting military power in the Arctic, where the cold wreaks havoc and high-tech tools American forces rely on elsewhere. The U.S. is working out the details of the Denmark-Greenland security deal aimed at countering Russian and Chinese influence above the Arctic Circle. Once the agreement is reached, the U.S. will take a more prominent role in defending the icy island, where extreme conditions can limit or render useless some key tools in the American arsenal, including drones. Battery life is way shorter. Engines can freeze. You don't have specific equipment to stop that from happening. Fuel can even freeze. Yes, extended periods of darkness further increase power demand. Although batteries become critical in all manner of military technology, they became a weakness in the Arctic. Battery capacity dropped from 100% to as low as 20% in a matter of a few minutes, given the very harsh, very cold temperatures. And that was a training exercise in Germany, not even in the Arctic. Well, I could tell you that. Anyway, yeah, so the Arctic is a problem for us, and we know this. All right? So, folks, thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it already. I'd appreciate that. 295 likes, 427 people currently here. Thank you all for the bit of Super Chat revenue that came. Okay? And Rivers Random just gave a 35 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. That sipped in here. I didn't see that come in. Thank you for that. All righty, cool beans. John is lining up to become the next White House ambassador, not because of merit, diplomacy, strategy, but because optics always matter more than results. Well, John Steenhuisen will get nothing accomplished in D.C. The administration knows that he's Cyril Ramaphosa's white agriculture minister. He's the fool they know he is. All right, you'll be redirected automatically over to Ronaldo's stream after this, if you'd like to join us there. We'll be over on that program. So, Ronaldo, let me just double check and make sure I took care of that. I don't want to mislead you. Yes, you'll be redirected there. Wednesdays with the Colonel. Ronaldo and I no doubt will talk an awful lot about what we just talked about here. So, Yep. All right, guys, thanks. Be sure to hit the like button and have a lovely day. I fly early tomorrow morning to Dallas, assuming the flight isn't canceled, and I'll spend the next several days down there in great state of Texas, Lone Star State, at the one-year anniversary of President Trump's announcement of the refugee program. I will be hosting a meet and greet in Argyle, Texas on Saturday at noon. Yep, we'll try to live broadcast that for those who are unable to attend. We're looking forward to it. Lili Fundaplas will be there. Professor G cannot make this one. He's suggested we do another one later on. And John B. Wells and Brendy Wells, former Shark Girl and Caravan to Midnight, and the former Lexington man will be present as well. Looking forward to it, guys. Y'all take care. We'll see you later. Cheers. Well, hopefully I'm Ronaldo in a moment.